And he himself sent me a whole bunch of different places to file charges.
Yeah.
So the AG's office, Civil Division,
Yeah.
the governor,
Yeah.
I've sent letters to McCann.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, I haven't heard from him.
Okay.
Of course, I sent one to Officer K.
Sure.
This is getting redundant and ridiculous.
Yeah.
She should be arrested. The 9A, is it the 9A code?
9A40060 is the
Okay, stop
custodial
right there.
interference.
That has the
10.31.100 makes it a mandatory arrest.
You guys know, that's the exact same code. Sex trafficking, kidnapping. That's the exact same code for those two. My grandson is being kidnapped. He's being kept against the will of seeing his father.
As a means to commit the act of mental abuse towards me and interrupting government functions, which under 9A40020 makes it a kidnapping
Did you bring
charge.
the other binder? Since I'm only put together, I know where stuff. Can you just get it out, please?
Can you hold this, please?
I said I didn't want to be part of this.
Well, too bad, you're in public.
This is your binder, John?
This is
Or
this is one I put together for
Okay.
evidence. No. You don't know what I want. Here. This is the paperwork from the GAL.
was this supposed to go with this?
It's at this point, it's kind of all out of order.
Okay. I just
So
didn't
that was by date.
screw something up.
GAL report. It is concerned that Mr. and Ms. Hartman were not perfectly accurate. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Entirely accurate of the information they provided.
Yeah.
She explains in here that Ms. Hartman does understand how to manipulate Mr. Coates, so she's pushing every single button. And this is from Alyssa Ryan.
Has the court made a comment on that?
No,
Not
it's
yet.
Been in court yet. We were supposed to go to trial. I say we because I'm his POA.
Trial was originally supposed to be in May.
Yeah.
The court screwed up on their filing, which pushed it to October. October was delayed due to a criminal trial. And now we're waiting till April, even though we were supposed to have priority, and it was supposed to be done by the end of this year.
What's on the second?
Contempt for
but-
perjury, for the lying, for the moving without notice, for the violation of the parenting plan, for the violation of Kyle Hartman's order.
And it sounds like you guys have a pretty good argument for that.
Well, that doesn't
Like,
matter.
I mean,
it doesn't matter
it's
what
not
our
gonna go
arguments
through.
say. It
I
doesn't
can
matter
tell.
what the court does. You guys are still required by law to make the mandatory arrest under 10.31.100 under paragraph 2A, which states you shall make the arrest. It's arrest without warrant. It's in your guys' RCWs. It's in the law.
I know.
And if you willfully refuse, that's a violation under 9A.80.010 for willful refusal to enforce the law when imposed. It is under the law. There is a parenting plan. You guys have more than enough probable cause here. You have knowledge. She has knowledge. She did not show. It's a clear felony. I want her arrested at this point.
Okay.
Okay, you spoke your case. Now, yes, we have court on Monday,
Yeah.
most likely, because she's probably gonna be not contempt. Always happens. She had 6 weeks to file.
So can you explain that to me?
After 1
Like, so
month,
the
she
courts
can
have-
no longer
so
file.
The courts agreed that you have made the case that she's not doing the exchange, and they haven't found her in contempt.
Because we're supposed to go through you guys each and every time.
They
But
keep
what
telling
is-
us to go
what-
through
what
you
do
guys.
we-
You guys keep telling me to go through them or the prosecutor.
We're trying to hear
We're
this
having a good
out.
conversation. Let's
You're
not-
very passionate about this, so try to realize the
I,
passion.
I've tried telling them this I don't know how many
Then
times. They don't want to listen to me,
Let
apparently.
me talk, because I'm a little bit more calmer.
I am calm. I'm sorry my voice doesn't reflect that. That's a bias against disability.
I think you're doing good.
Nobody's talking about
We've talked about your disability, and I don't. I'll never hold that against you.
Martinez does, Shaddy
Okay, they're
does,
not
Von
him.
Dyke does.
They're not him.
I understand, but
Stop. Okay, what was your question? I
Okay.
apologize.
So, when we first started talking, I understood about serving the motion. Was it a motion to amend or
A motion to file contempt. So
Okay.
what I apparently didn't
Did that
get.
eventually get served on her eventually?
Yes.
Okay.
Which
In
is
the
why we
court?
have court on Monday.
It's kind of funny because
However,
she
is
did
supposed
admit to being
do
served.
A response, and that's why the courts gave her 6 weeks to do a response. Court's on Monday. We haven't received a response.
Okay. If she doesn't respond, did the courts indicate that they will find her in contempt at that point?
The
Or
paperwork just
did they
says
warn her?
they may. That paperwork says that she could be held in contempt.
And keep in mind, RCW 9A40070, paragraph 2 states that it is still a misdemeanor even in absence of a finding of contempt.
So anyway, the commissioners, we've seen Shan, Crandall, Judge Burge, Judge
Nesweski.
Stiles, Judge Nesweski, and that other judge, I can't remember her name. So we've seen 6 different,
Requelm, or
yeah,
Riquelme.
6 different higher ups over there.
Yeah.
And each and every one, I promise you, says you need to go report it and have it done through the Mount Vernon Police Department.
Judge Stiles is the only one we
Every
haven't
single
seen
one.
because he would be
So
conflict of
just
interest due
because
to
I've never
my
spoken with
grandfather's
you, I've spoken with
familiarity.
Dylan several times. Are you aware that we have sent the charges to the prosecutor to take a look at?
I was told that,
Okay.
yes, that it's probably.
If you did a public disclosure request, you will find that there are numerous cases where we, on Dylan's behalf, have attempted to send charges on her and the prosecutor continues to deny.
So he's
The-
committing a
the
willful
officer
refusal
jumping
even though
in
it's imposed by law?
And I know you're recording me, and he knows who I
No,
am.
I'm not worried about any of that right now.
I grew up with him. My brother shot him in the arm or the butt, something like that, with a paintball, and ever
Okay.
since then,
Yeah.
it's not like my family.
Wow, okay.
Our
I grew up
grandfather
with
is
his
chief of
sister
police,
before, you know.
Cedral Woolley, 13 plus years.
Okay, Dylan. Don't even throw me. So, I mean, I know he doesn't care for Dylan. I know that, and that's probably why it's sitting there. Dylan has provided more than enough proof, more than enough. And not to throw names, but I did go with this with my dad to find out what, because he was the sheriff in Eastern Washington, he was Cedar Woolley chief, he was sheriff in Carson City. So I did go over this. He too was stumped why you guys aren't doing anything.
You know how many videos of this I've
Provided
posted
everything that you
online?
guys- I mean,
Probably don't even
he
have a
gets-
guess.
Community is
he
not
gets
happy
arrested
either.
for sending an email, but she doesn't get arrested for kidnapping.
I know personally, Officer Robinson and I have never arrested Dylan. And obviously we don't completely know the facts of what happened in that
Well,
instance.
it was against a restraining order.
It was about the restraining order?
Yeah,
Or it was,
he
it was
broke-
a restraining order violation?
It was a
Okay.
violation of the.
Because I said some harsh things to her over talking parents that were not threats, because according to the cyber harassment statute, it must contain intent to harass or intimidate. Harassment, as defined by law, is the threats to harm a person or property and the intent to carry it out. Intimidation is the act of imposing fear upon someone to coerce them to do something they normally would not want to do. And me stating I know it's in the wrong, but I was in a meltdown caused by this situation, a medical emergency. Okay. The fact that I was pushed into a meltdown because she's not following the parenting plan and because you guys don't want to do your jobs for over a year, and then I get arrested for cyber harassment. Was Kyle Hartman ever arrested for his cyber harassment when he violated my order?
I'm not aware of that.
He was not.
Okay. I figured
I've
we'd
been
have that
told
answer.
by multiple officers, even Sergeant Maxwell here the other day told me that he was charged, and it was on the municipal county's prosecutor's desk.
Kyle was charged?
Yeah, that's according to him. But when I pull up on the court records, and I even posted a video of it online, he's never been charged. There is no municipal file, no Superior Court file, not Burlington, not Skagit, nothing.
How do you post that online? Do you
So initially,
Screen record and-
and like voice over while you do that?
probably goes
Fair
to
enough.
his desk. I can confirm that.
So it's kind of funny how it took 10 minutes for a sergeant, a striped sergeant, to lie to the public, especially lying to a victim of a crime.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do the front of Lieutenant Green
Kind of-
at some point today.
I don't know what he was looking at.
What's your guys' policy on duty to intervene?
Let me be very clear.
How do you mean? We have a duty to intervene.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
for example, the other day when 4 officers were here surrounding me, who intervened? Officer Robinson was here. Did he not have a duty to intervene when three other officers were intimidating me?
I'm not going to be able to speak to that, Dylan, and you know that because I know you know I wasn't there, right? And it sounded like he would have some knowledge of that, but that's not going to be something I can answer for you.
So why still the failure of duty then?
Failure of duty in what sense?
10.31.100, paragraph
to go arrest her
2A
today?
makes it a mandatory arrest. Not just today. Ever since it was signed in, 10.31.100 makes it a mandatory
And you
arrest.
would say every Wednesday, Thursday.
Every
Friday?
Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry.
from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. She has knowledge of the parenting plan. She knows. We've had plenty of visitation schedules that she's refused as well.
Outside of the Tuesday.
We had
Wednesday, Friday.
visitation scheduled entered December 11th, 2022, 9/14/2023, and now the parenting plan on 1/25/2024, all of which have gone unfollowed multiple times. According to legislation under State versus Velas, a restraining order plus visitation schedule is not a valid court order. So under paragraph 3 of 9A40060, without a lawful court order giving residential provisions, if one parent keeps a minor child from the other parent with intent to deprive access, it's a Class C felony. When you have her messages from February 20th, 2022, you can see them for 5 minutes. That's it until we get stuff settled in court. That's clear, willful intent to deprive me of access to my child without a valid court order. That's a Class C felony. 10.31.100. Violation of
Do you know if we've ever
9A.40.
sent the charges over?
Does it matter if the charges get sent?
Sorry?
Does it matter if the charges get sent?
I'm talking about in the past.
Does it matter?
Does what matter? If the charges get sent? No, I'm asking you a question.
I don't know if they got sent, but does that matter?
Because I know we've referred her for custodial interference. But do you know
What does the language state?
I'm not able to.
10.31.100, paragraph 2, a police officer shall arrest and take into custody. That's not an option. It's not a choice. That's not saying wait for the prosecutor. It's mandatory. You shall arrest and take into custody pending bail, PR, or court order. So why do you have to wait for a prosecutor for a mandatory arrest? Do charges matter in that?
The question I was asking
I'm not. That doesn't matter. What does the
language?
language state? It's a mandatory arrest.
No, it's not, and I'm looking at it right here.
10.31.100, paragraph
I'm looking
2.
at
Paragraph 2. And then if you look at section A, it states under chapter 9A.40. Look up 2A, Mom.
We are done.
So you could see at the very top, it says under paragraph, see, chapter 9A.40, which covers custodial interference.
Can't hear.
Believe that a domestic violence protection order, sexual assault protection order, or stalking protection order, or vulnerable adult protection order has been issued. Nothing about custodial interference.
Chapter 9A.40.
Dylan,
she came down here.
I would love to talk about this
Dylan,
with
she
you. I
came
really
down here on your
would.
behalf.
I just want to get through this with your mom. It will only take a minute. Okay.
She came down here on your behalf today, right?
How many times do I have to cite the law, though?
I mean, you're. I would say you're a professional.
I do my research. I do my due diligence.
You do.
I'm not a constitutionalist. I'm not a normal auditor. But
I've never said
when I
that
have to do this
about
stuff,
you. I've never said that about you.
but when I have to do this stuff,
Streamers protection order, which is domestic violence stuff. Order related to firearms, foreign protection orders like same stuff, but different country. So I don't want to read all that. See what else that is. If you want to stop and further read.
hang on. Look,
Dylan, if you're gonna come over here and be loud, I can't
under
hear
A,
you.
go back up to A.
We've already gone through that.
So you see the chapter 9A.40?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now when you click on that, oh, what's 9A.40060?
Oh, don't be a jerk.
That encapsulates.
Custodial interference, kidnapping, 9A.40060. It's right there in your RCW, and you're willfully passing it and refusing to.
I'm not passing it, Dylan.
You just willfully ignored the 9A.40 chapter under paragraph 2A.
Okay, Dylan. He's trying to explain this to me.
So So it's talking about protection orders issued regarding those crimes. It does not specifically say, if it was saying that we had probable cause and a mandatory arrest for the crime of custodial interference, it would be listed in here. That encapsulates like 10 different crimes.
Okay.
That's not what that means. So that's being misinterpreted.
It's not being misinterpreted.
Dylan, we can disagree, but I want to get through this with your mom, okay?
So she willfully has
I
been
cannot
refusing
understand if you
contact or
keep cutting
contact.
in.
I'm not trying to cut in. I'm trying to explain. So let me finish. 2A makes it mandatory.
He's done. I think she's willing to hear you out.
Person is 18 years or older,
And
with
so is
24
Officer
hours
Robinson,
since
so am I.
a family member with injury,
But there's a process,
observable
right?
injury, and that goes
And we're
all the
just
way
being
down.
asked that you'll let us do our part in this
Arrest for primary
process.
aggressor.
Truthfully, the faster he can get
Okay,
through it.
now-
So him willfully bypassing the
He's
law?
not bypassing it.
He's going.
He's showing it.
If I
to
know
us.
him, he's gonna be very thorough.
Any
Okay.
person having
10.31.100 2A 2A. It literally says it under chapter 9A.40.
shall arrest and